Sixer Nation, it is happening, okay? Obviously, nothing confirmed yet, but if you can put two and two together and read a little bit between the lines, okay, you can see what is going on here. The writing is on the wall. The question is, will it actually get done? We will talk about all of that as well as recap a lot of the news from the weekend because your boy was away on vacation. And I just got back last night after some long flight delays, by the way. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, these next couple weeks are about to be insane. We have the Sixers coming up next week in the NBA draft. Will they trade the pick? Will they keep it? Then we have free agency. According to Brian Windhorst, some of the reported contracts could start coming out as soon as the finals end due to new rules in the CBA. There's so much going on. We have free agency madness. I cannot wait to see what this Sixers team does, but we finally have some insight on probably where they're headed. Okay, so we'll talk about it all. Welcome into Philly Take with RB. I'm RB. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate everybody blowing up my phone this past weekend while I'm away. I just see all these DMs. I'm like, what's going on? What could possibly be happening during the NBA Finals? And then, Joel Embiid just decides to make an impromptu appearance on national television. And boy, did he do some things. But I want to start off with our boy Campaign, because Campaign obviously became more of a fan favorite in the playoffs, and I actually want the Sixers to bring him back on a minimum, and maybe this is how it finally happens, okay? Campaign arrested in Scottsdale, Arizona this weekend for refusing to ID himself and giving a false report to officers. Again, I don't know what happened. I wasn't there. I'll wait for more details to come out, but if he is innocent and whatever this is just, some incident and they get past it and maybe the Sixers can get him back on a minimum, I'm all for it. Bring back Campaign. In other news, Kelly Oubre has signed with CAA Sports ahead of what could be a big summer for him. Obviously, CAA has a lot of clients to the NBA, a bigger agency. So Kelly Oubre has signed with CAA. And you know what that means? Price tag is going up. So will the Sixers be able to sign him, say, for the room exception? Will they be able to sign him for $8 million a year? I don't know. It's going to be tough. And really, it comes down to whether the Sixers want to go for another star or they want to go for more depth. And I think based on Daryl Morey's comments, we've all seen that, okay, they want a home run swing. They want to get another big-time player in here. That's the play that they have this summer. Whether you agree or disagree, well, that's up to your own opinion. But over the weekend, Paul George was in the news a lot. Brian Windhorst says that Paul George and the Clippers are reportedly, quote, not on the same page when it comes to contract negotiations. We've heard rumbles of that before. Obviously, the Clippers can offer him the most 4 years, $221. Teams like the Sixers can offer 4 years, $212. But apparently the Clippers don't even want to go above 3 years. Now, again, I still think they will based on where they're at as an organization. They have the new stadium coming in. They want to retain a lot of fans. I don't think they'll let PG go. But if they do and they don't want to budge, I mean, you could see him making a move, especially for a guy who's later in his career, wants that one opportunity to win, but he also wants to, provide for his family and be good for the next several generations. So Paul George has made it clear, especially on his podcast, that, he knows his worth. And here's what Brian Windhorst said today on Get Up, quote, what is interesting to me is that the Clippers are very aware that somebody is going to offer PG a 4-year max, whether it's the Sixers or the Magic, or a team could even trade for him. The Clippers know this is going to go on, and yet they are still not making this offer. Now, is that more of a leverage play? I mean, if they know that somebody's going to make an offer, then just give them the contract. Maybe they're waiting. Maybe they're just going through the due diligence and going through the process to say, okay, we're going to match the offer, whatever, we'll give you the most money. But it is kind of interesting, right? You don't want to stir this up. You don't want to kind of frustrate him and his agent, et cetera, and get to a point where, then maybe he does bulge and you don't have anything in return unless you do a sign and trade. But I don't know, man. It's getting interesting. Do the Clippers want to keep Paul George? Obviously, they have Kawhi Leonard. They have a decision to make with James Harden, but based on where they're at, like I said before, they're going to probably want to keep a lot of people's interest this season. But the biggest storyline of the entire weekend came when Paul George was on the Finals Pregame Show with Malika and Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A and all them. And I guess that's what they've been doing, kind of promoting some of these players and their new podcasts and their new media roles, etc. So Paul George was on, and apparently the story goes that Joel Embiid was out there to watch the finals, and I guess he saw PG backstage in the tunnel or whatever, and he decided, I'm going to go make an appearance, stir up the pot a little bit, and make some noise, just like Joel Embiid does. That's what he's always done. You got to commend his personality and just his humor and, ability, I guess, to balance it all out, even when things are tough. And, it was good to see him happy, smiling, etc. But what he did has everybody talking, and here is how it went.
Great city, great fans. Obviously they got some great players, but he hurts me a lot. So hopefully, this offseason we find a way to get better and, add some pieces.
Let me go ahead and play that part again right there. Watch Joel Embiid. Paul George is sitting to his right.
Find a way to get better and, add some pieces.
Find a way to, add some pieces. He side-eyes Paul George and then smiles and laughs. Okay, now, knowing the NBA and the Sixers, right, they have the worst luck. They're probably going to get hit with tampering for this, even though they shouldn't. And I'm kind of joking. Like, I don't think you can give tampering for this unless PG was to sign tomorrow. But what I will say is that this is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because Joel Embiid has always been that superstar that says, I'm going to stay out of it, right? I'm the star. The front office does their job. I'm going to sit back. Whoever you give me to play with, I'm going to play with. Now, I think that's kind of to a fault sometimes because I want Embiid to do this, right? Like, get me a star or get me what I need. Get me who I want. And this was the first time, even though he did it inadvertently, like, yo, this guy right here, I think I could play with him. And these guys are going to talk. There's going to be a little bit of recruiting going on, whether it's on or off camera, behind the scenes. He's probably going up like, yo, PG, imagine you're fit at the 3 with me and Maxey. Like, imagine us 3 together. That's a whole lot better than James Harden, who I would know personally. That's probably what Embiid's saying. And Kawhi Leonard. So look, man, at the end of the day, Joel Embiid getting his best recruiting on and trolling at the same time. And of course, that just blew everything up. Like I said, tons of people sending this to me. And even after this, the next interaction was, quote, the piece might be sitting right beside you. That's what Kendrick Perkins said to Embiid. So, hey, hit Perkins with tampering too. All right, everybody knew what was going on here. Joel Embiid decided to stir up the pot. Even Stephen A said it too. So they know what's going on. Now, I also want to say Joel Embiid is awesome. For stopping by our... Here he is going up to the Larry O'Brien trophy at the end. Look at that. Rubbing that. Little smile. And I know all the jokes are going to be running wild. This is the first time Joel Embiid touched the trophy and has been to the finals, etc. Same thing with Paul George. But look, man, at the end of the day, you just got to love this guy's attitude. No matter what, he continues to get beaten down and gets back up and always has a smile on his face and continues to persevere. So, look, I think overall, everybody wants to see Joel Embiid succeed except for the people that just hate him for no reason. He deserves a chance to play on the biggest stage. A lot of it comes down to him. He needs to stay healthy and get better, etc. But at the end of the day, man, give him the necessary help. You can finally do that this offseason. And it was good to see him up there and giving a little bit of a recruiting pitch as well. And I want to end it off with something on a different topic because he talked about the Celtics. And I think he was speaking facts. Celtic fans are going to get all enraged about this. But here is what Joel Embiid said about the Celtics.
Dynasty of winning multiple championships for the Boston Celtics.
I don't think so. Not with the new CBA. And then you also got to understand the whole East was kind of hurt this year, myself included.
You see Paul George agreeing with him. He said, yo, look, the Celtics are a good team. Now, I wouldn't go out there saying they're not going to be a dynasty because they have re-signed all their core pieces. They look pretty damn good. So Joel should probably stay away from that one a little bit, but he's speaking the facts. The Celtics went through the Heat without Jimmy Butler, the Cavs without Donovan Mitchell for the last 2 games, Jared Allen and Karis LeVert for the last 2. They went through the Pacers without Halliburton for the last 2. And here they are playing an injured Luka Doncic in the finals. So the Celtics have had the easiest run to a ring of all time. They'll probably end up closing it out. But at the end of the day, man, Joel's speaking facts, and He said it himself. He hates Boston. We don't like them. We want to beat them. Hopefully this sparks the fire and gives him and this team and this organization the motivation that they need. You know Daryl Morey's watching these clips. You know Daryl Morey's watching TV and what everybody's saying. Look, it feels very inevitable at this point that the Sixers are going to get Paul George. Joel Embiid is advocating for him. Tyrese Maxey, of course, will probably want him as well. And I've always said, I don't think Paul George on a 4-year max is the right way to go. But if it comes down to it and you evaluate all your options and that's your best option and you can maybe get 2 successful years out of PG and then have a lot of dead money on the back end, right? If you win a ring, who cares? Doesn't matter, Now, again, I would still like to go the role player route. And I know people are trying to buy themselves into this PG idea. It, comes with a lot of risks. Okay. He's going to be 35 next year. But if you can get PG as a suitable third option and Embiid can stay healthy and PG can help take over some games, unlike Tobias Harris, and Tyrese Maxey continues to evolve, maybe you could have something cooking there. But again, I still have questions about constructing the rest of the roster if you use $50 million on PG and you don't have much left to build out the rest of the team. So that's where my concerns are. It's not like you have a lot of these young draft pieces who are just going to come in and play right away. But do you think that PG coming to Philly is the best option at this point? Give me your thoughts down below. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That being said, I will catch you on the next one. Peace.